Hey guys, it's your boy Phil coming at you again, playing Rift Wizard. Today we're gonna try an ice build. Um, I've actually tried to script or and re-record this a couple of times, but I've learned that it's pretty hard to script things in this game because of how improvisational you need to be in order to stay ahead of what it throws at you. Um, so I'm gonna be a little bit more low key, just as improvisational. Let's go in. I'm gonna try to do a normal ice run. Um, but we'll see what happens. Um, anyway, so you want a nice easy ice build? Of course, start with icicle. um, let's see. Do we have any good circles or anything fun? Ooh, an ice circle, especially if you start with an ice circle. Can't go wrong with that. So right away, I'm gonna kill this spawner first, just so I can save a couple of casts. No, it's not a big deal, but optimize those casts a little bit. Ice builds are not really a big fan of vampires or goblins, for that matter. But let's take a look here. The circle's kind of up here. The gates are a little spread out. While the circle is very tempting, and also vampires resist ice and they transform into a bat. So if you're looking at this, you're only doing 9 damage a cast. So that's 4 casts of icicle for one vampire. Now, take a look here. It's a little bit closer together with these spawners. But the problem with goblins, what I was going to mention earlier, is how icicle works. Icicle only deals 6 damage. It deals 6 physical damage to where you aim, and 6 ice damage around it. So while the direct hit takes 12 damage, everything around it only takes 6. And since goblins have 7 health, you gotta be direct on all of them. Let's take a look over here. Here's another good thing. These ones look pretty good. Got right here, bats and mantises are pretty easy to take out. Even though this one over here, this is quite a long way you have to go just to be able to shoot this down. But I think this is our one. This is our rift. We'll take it. You know, if I spawn here, this bat will come closer, and then by the second time I shoot at this gate, I'll be able to kill this bat. So. Just a little bit cheeky. Beautiful. Now, ice, especially what I'm doing here, tends to be pretty action-oriented. You're going to be casting a lot of spells. Because I'm running out, and I don't want to really use a mana potion for one spell charge, I think I'm going to buy a second cantrip. When in doubt, I always say, when you're new, when in doubt, get Death Bolt. It's the highest value cantrip you've got out there. If I shoot anything living, boom, now I got a little skeleton dude to, well, you know, deal damage, draw aggro. Sure, the bats aren't too great. Oh, look, they'll see. It's one guy with one cast. Oops. Ah! Nice. Now we're down a couple of charges, or we're down a point, but still have 5 spell points. So, with ice, you have a couple of options to go to. I always say just the basic one. We're building toward the skill Shatter Shards. Now, Shatter Shards, without getting too technical, anytime something is unfrozen, it shatters in an area. It hits 3 enemies with 2 kinds of damage. So we need to build to this. But you have to be safe. You have to be careful, because if you buy this too early, you're going to die. Let's take a look around here. Oh, look at that ice circle. Here's another hot Rift Wizard tip. Dragon horns, if you see a realm with a dragon horn, especially early on, that's going to be an easy... If you can summon though, if you can take advantage of that, that's going to be a basically free clear. And normally I wouldn't take this, but I want to get this ice circle, so I think using this dragon horn to clear this realm for me is going to be very useful. So right away, kill this, step out. This dragon horn summons dragons in only in empty squares adjacent to you. So if you're against a wall or an enemy, you won't summon anything. But, boom. Now gold drakes. Rounds 2 and 3. You really can't go wrong with gold drakes, or with any kind of drakes. Storm ones are a little annoying. Look at that. Boom. Easy. I know a little RNG dependent. Actually, a lot RNG dependent, but let's get ourselves situated so you can kind of see how an ice build comes together. Now let's take a look here. I think I'm going to get the... Well, let's plan out here, because circles are really good. Remember, circles are really good if you're getting multiple small purchases. Because normally, if I wanted to get the freezing, that would be 2 spells, or 2 spell points. Radiant Chill, another good spell, or another skill to freeze anything when you cast an ice spell, that's 4, and Shatter Shards is 6. So in total, we're looking at... math. We're looking at 12 points. However, with this circle, suddenly freezing I can get for only 1 point. I can get Radiant Chill for 3. And, if I had 1 more point. If I didn't buy that Death Bolt, we'd be able to get Shatter Shards for pretty cheap. But I think just to be safe for now, let's get Shatter Shards first. Let's get the freezing upgrade on Icicle, so I have some sort of cheap freeze. Then, of course, our bestie, Shatter Shards. So, now that we have Shatter Shards, now you gotta start looking out for ways to more efficiently freeze. Of course, always Radiant Chill. That's going to go off on any time you cast an ice spell. If you have the freezing upgrade on your icicle, it'll freeze something. It'll freeze something. And whatever's closest to it. But I think, just for fun, let's get, especially since we're on a circle, right? And here's another hot tip for newbies. If you find a circle and you can get one of these level 2 spells for cheap, that's going to be a pretty efficient way to... It's going to be a pretty cheap way to bolster your build, especially if it's from a different spell school. But we can get this freeze spell for cheap, 1 mana, 1 spell point. Literally just freezes the target. Right? It's only 1 point. And now we're going to have 1 point left, and by the time we clear the next rift, then we'll also be able to buy Frozen Fragility, or what's it called? Radiant Chill. Oh, okay. So, taking a peek here. These ghasts are going to be a little bit annoying because, well, they resist our physical damage entirely, and they're resistant to ice. However, now that we have Shatter Shards, it shouldn't be too bad. And anyway, these Void Bombers only have 1 health, and they'll explode pretty easily. So, let's take a look. Plus, look in here. Lightning or Ice Spell, on damaging an enemy in a thunderstorm or blizzard, redeals 75% of the damage as ice, and 75% is lightning. So we don't have any storms yet, but eventually we'll be looking to get into that with another really powerful ice skill, Stormcaller. We'll come to that later. Let's see. Where can we safely spawn in? I think right here. The nice thing is, don't forget, these Void Bombers melt walls. So as these guys die, they'll open up this level a bit more, especially with Shatter Shards. Alright, let's see. Without any way. So, this guy's gonna be annoying. I'm gonna freeze him right away. Oh, there you go. You can see Shatter Shards going off pretty nicely. Boom. And even on that, of course, whenever you have Death Bolt, always look for Death Bolt finishers. Because now I have a skeleton. Granted, you know, he's not going to do very well against these Void Bombers. But he draws aggro. You know, he can chip something. Ooh. Ooh. Boom. Beautiful. Collect all of this. Alright, take a look in that. So, I think for this, we'll just put this on Icicle. Actually, so, and here's where I was talking about that improvisation. Normally at this point, I'd get Radiant Chill, just so I can have double freezing. However, we're going to take advantage of this. Stormcaller I can't buy yet, but I can buy it on the next level for pretty cheap. Okay. So let's take a look here. Oh, these are not fun options. Looking in here, these polar bears are resistant to ice, so they can still be frozen. However, if you look at their skills, they will freeze themselves and heal while frozen. We don't really have very much burst damage once other enemies are taken down. But this one doesn't look too bad. We've got 2 rifts right here. Not too bad. Or 2 gates. Taking a look in here. Ugh. So this one, if I went in this one, I would probably lose. Couple of reasons. One, these golems are metallic. Metallic enemies are the bane of Ice Build's existence. They are immune to ice, and they take half damage from physicals. They can't be frozen, and Shatter Shards does nothing. So avoid these. Also, avoid... Spriggans are not very fun in the beginning. They resist physical a bit. Luckily, they can be frozen, but they transform into a bush. So, you have to kill them twice, essentially. Taking a look at this one. This one might be alright. See, we've got the polar bears still. But all these enemies are all melee. Easy Shatter Shards target. Everything has under 9 health, even with this shield. However, I think what I'm gonna do, you see I've got 2 portal disruptors. I'm not a big fan of any of these levels, and I'd really like to push the advantage that we have. So let's try and pop one of these, see what we get offered. Ooh, beautiful. Look at this. These enemies break into smaller versions of themselves. Okay. But the big thing is these fire lizards. All this stuff will get obliterated by Shatter Shards. Now, let's see. Looking at this, I think looking at this, I would rather get for now, I would rather get Radiant Chill. Just because looking at this, it would be nice to be able to start freezing more enemies around here. We'll see if we can get away with not having to use a mana potion yet, but you know how it is. Alright, let's take a peek here. Check out the threat range. I thought about spawning here and freezing this lizard, but then this guy would be able to hit me. It's okay to take some damage, but I think we'll do that. Especially I'll slam on this ruby heart. It'll give me more health. Let's see. Yep, there he is. Oh, oops. No wonder, oops. Alright, get that Radiant Chill here. I want to get double freezes on stuff. Man, once all this thaws, it's gonna be crazy. See, not too great getting just this little guy. But ooh. He's something. Freeze this guy. Let's see, we can use this guy. Nice. We're getting to the point where it's about time to use a mana potion, especially since I'm almost entirely out. Let's launch off one last cheeky death bolt before we go. Alright, mana potion. Bam. Now that we've got Icicle again, now we can start dealing some serious damage. See? Freeze something. Icicle. Let Shatter Shards clear its way over here. Ooh. Beautiful. Will help worms. Death bolt. Nice. Alright. So look at that. We're at Realm 5. I know we got a little bit of RNG, but that's this game. But we've got Icicle, we've got 2 ways to freeze things. We've got free freezing whenever we cast an ice spell, and Shatter Shards is insane. So we'll go through a little bit more, see what we can do. Here's another. Let's look at this one. Now this sorcery circle would be nice. We could get some cheesy upgrades too. We could get some cheesy upgrades to Icicle. This one does not look fun. While this Twilight Seer really won't be that annoying, every single one of these trolls regenerates 5 health a turn. Which is not bad when you've got a bunch of trolls to chain Shatter Shards off of. But once you run out, you're going to get walled pretty hard. So, I know we talked about these vampires earlier being annoying and how we don't like them. But now that we've got some more skills to be able to take care of them, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. Closed as this map is, and as much as I hate closed maps. Ooh, let's see. I'm thinking about... I'd like to take these 3 spawners out right away. That was... Oh, okay. So that was my initial thought. However, because these 2 are on the opposite ends, I think it would be better to start at one end and take one out first. I think... Well, let's see. If we start here, this should be pretty easy to clear. With Icicle, Icicle and Freeze and Shatter Shards. Make sure to kill that guy right away. Let's start here. Wait, can this guy get me? No, not yet. No, he can't get me for a little bit, but that's alright. Alright, let's take a look here. Uh-oh. Oh, we got unfrozen. There you go. Pick this guy out. See? Alright, one spawner down. up freezes at things. That's the beauty about the ice build. Because Frozen Fragility really doesn't care. Frozen Fragility really doesn't care where the nearest enemy is. If you cast an ice spell, it'll freeze whatever's closest to it. A little greedy here with these freezes. We don't want to let these vampire bats get away. 100%. Ah, can't cheese it out with a... See, and here's what I was talking about earlier. Now that I've got I don't really have very many enemies nearby. So now if I want to shoot this guy, now I'm stuck with... oh, Freeze and Deathbolt. Ah, beautiful. Now we want to take this guy out. Okay. It's okay to let these guys kind of build up. But I should probably think about finishing them off pretty soon. Ugh. Oops. Okay. Too greedy. So now we can think. Do we want to get any upgrades? No, I think I'm just gonna use a potion. Ugh. Okay. Screw that guy. We'll handle him later. Ugh, see. Especially with... Oops. Alright. There we go. A little worse than I would have liked, but we take it. Beautiful. Alright. Now we can go look at this sorcery circle. Now, we can get upgrades here. However, I'm gonna go take a look. I'm gonna see if I can... Aha! Perfect. So, here's the main bomb. Word of Ice. So Word of Ice. Any word spells, they cost 7 points to buy, but they affect the whole map under certain circumstances. This guy, what he does is... Oops. This guy, what he does is all non-ice immune enemies under 50 health are frozen for 5 turns, and it damages fire units with ice. And they're usually weak to ice, so... Look at this. I mean, if we take a look here, I can spawn in right here. I can buy Word of Ice, and just take a guess of what's going to happen. That! With these enemies still ready to unfreeze. So there's your big power boon. Word of Ice. Once you have Word of Ice, that's going to be your main method of clearing realms. With this, you want to try to find realms where you can cast Word of Ice and cause as much damage with a Shatter Shards unfreeze as possible. Now once again, while I'd love to be able to get more health, up here, if we look at this guy, 4 spawners right next to each other, fire enemy, everything's under 50 health, except the spawner. Oh, even the spawners. A lot of charges on Word of Ice. Usually I just like to get an extra max charge, especially since that, if you get it early, that'll help you saving your Word of Ice casts or charges. Anyway, super easy here. Just come on in. Word of Ice. Beautiful. How's that for synergy? Anyway, so that's about all I'm gonna do for this one. Just kind of showing you how to get the pretty basic ice build here. Icicle from here. What you can do. Nice thing about this is, as long as you find more ways to trigger freeze, you should be good. Stormcaller, like I said earlier, Stormcaller will create a blizzard or thundercloud anytime something takes ice or lightning damage. Let's see, other things. Frozen fragility. Whenever an enemy is frozen, it reduces its physical and ice resist by 100. So anything that is not immune to ice will get hurt even harder. Crystal Power is another good one, especially for later levels, or if you aren't able to clear a realm entirely with Word of Ice. Especially since that treat that buffs your ice twice, since it's 2 sources of damage. Spell-wise, let's see. Ice Vortex is great. Actually, I think I might get that just to show it off real quick. Ice Vortex. You target a frozen unit, and all enemy units within a radius are pulled in, frozen, and dealt 22 damage. So what that ends up doing... Well, it shouldn't be too bad, since these guys are not immune to ice. Alright, real quick. Okay. And actually, we're gonna do a cheeky little thing with these bat dragons. Maybe not too cheeky. Start right there. Let's cast that. Perfect. Now it's summoned a bunch of... And now with Ice Vortex, and here's the other thing. You can cast it without line of sight, and it hits things through walls. Just show you the power of the ice build. So yeah, that's the nice thing about ice. Going forward, you've got plenty of options. It's a good thing, like I said about ice earlier. You really can't go wrong. As long as you're coming up with more ways to freeze things, you're gonna do pretty well. Like I said earlier, things you want to avoid, I would avoid at first. Right now, I would say avoid single high health enemies. Definitely avoid metallic. Definitely also try to avoid ice, but that's not as bad. But yeah, so that's a basic ice build. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what I am doing with this. If you have watched so far, thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to get this done because I've been playing nothing but ice builds for the last couple of days. So thank you so much for watching. Comment down below for whatever reason, questions. Oh, and join the Rift Wizard Discord. It's a great place, lots of friendly people, and when you inevitably have questions like I did, we'll be here to take care of you. So thanks for watching. Have a good